Hey everybody, want to welcome you to Desert Sky Mystic. Today we're going to be doing our love and relationship reading for Aquarius. Now, these are general readings, so they may not apply to everyone, but if they do resonate with you, please make sure to like the video. Also, this is kind of our 3-in-1 format. There's going to be 3 placements today. The first one's going to be for those of you that are in a relationship. The second placement is going to be for those of you that are looking for a relationship. And the final placement is going to be for those of you that are moving away from a relationship. If one of these scenarios applies to you and you'd like to skip forward, just scroll down the description box there and click on one of those time links and it'll fast forward you to that point in the video. So I think that's all the housekeeping items that I have. And let's go on and jump right in and see what this reading has in store for all of my Aquarius friends. Okay, welcome. If you are here for the part of the reading that deals with, that helps people that are in a current relationship, you are in the right place. So we will flip this card here and see what we are working with in this particular reading. Okay, Dragonfly Spirit, the truth transcends illusion. So yeah, I think that as of right now in this relationship, I think you're picking up on some things here. You're seeing some things that don't quite add up with what you are being told or the explanations for them. And I think there's a couple different things that could be going on here. One of them, it could just be outright deceit, obviously. But another thing could also be more of shading of explanations, perhaps even with the intention of thinking that they are protecting you, keeping you from worrying, things along those lines. Regardless of what it is, though, I think the important thing here is that what you are seeing, what your gut is telling you, what your intuition and instincts are telling you is not adding up with what this person is telling you and saying to you about this situation. And we are at a point where that has to be communicated. That is not okay. And I think there's going to be some digging in here that needs to happen. We'll check these clarification cards here in a minute and see what they have to say or what they have to add to this particular reading. But again, if this is resonating with you, if you're in a situation like this, I think we are at a point that you are going to have to just basically sit down and, call it out and get to the bottom of this, because the bottom line is regardless of what the intention is, in a healthy relationship, communication and honest communication is important. And if you can't trust what they're telling you, then, it's not gonna go well over the long term. So let's take a look at what these clarification cards come up with and see what direction it takes us, what kind of extra information we can get out of this situation you're dealing with right now. Okay, so I get the we got the clinging to the past card, and we got the outsider card here. The clinging to the past card here, I think, is really kind of what the crux of the situation is in this particular reading. That maybe there's some stuff that this person's still dealing with, whether it be an ex, whether it be something that happened in the past, baggage, or whatever else, and they just haven't quite let it go. And you're seeing that, you're picking up on that. And you want to move past that, which is kind of where this outsider card comes in. And see this boy here that's on the other side of the gates looking over some great stuff over there. And I think that's the way that you're approaching this here, is that that you are seeing this good stuff. You want to move past, but the other person is held up right now. Gosh, this keeps popping into my head, so I'm going to throw this out here too. And I think that first part of the message is valid for those who resonates. I think there's a flip side to this too. This could be the exact opposite. I mean, it could be you that's clinging to the past. Maybe you have some things that you can't let go of or get past, and you're just kind of stuck here on the outsider. And that this card here, the truth transcends illusion, means it's time to just come clean with this, time to let this go if you want this relationship to move forward. So gosh, it's almost like a mirrored reading, regardless of what side of this you are standing on. If it resonates with you, I think that it applies to both situations here. And one thing I notice about the outsider card always is that really this gate there's a lock on here, but this padlock, I don't know if you can see it, is unlocked. So it's really just a matter of, it's your decision, it's your choice. You remove the lock and you step through the gate. Now, for you, if it's you that's kind of held up here and hanging on to the past, or, not quite ready to trust or whatever else, literally the good stuff lies on the other side, and you're going to have to step through the gate if you want this relationship to work out. And you're going to have to be honest, you're going to have to communicate. And on the flip side, if you are experiencing this to where your partner is the one that maybe perhaps is kind of hung up here and you can't get past a certain stage in a relationship, I still think this outsider card applies, because really it's literally now's the time. You're gonna have to start being honest with each other. Communication is gonna have to be there. You're gonna have to move forward and get past this, and basically open that gate for them and say, hey, you got a choice. You can step through this gate over this good stuff where we move forward as a couple and continue this relationship and potentially be happy, or you don't and we go our separate ways ultimately. But I think the overall theme of the message is very apparent for both sides of this, which is the truth transcends illusion. And I think it's really a call to action in terms of communication and really taking a deep dive into where this relationship is at, where you want it to go, and where the hangups are. But whatever this, if it's the communication side from this other person, if you are experiencing this kind of shaded communication where you don't feel like you're getting the whole truth, it's time to break free from that. And if you are the one that is kind of shading that truth, or perhaps even being outright deceitful, it's time. I mean, you got to move forward, because if you hold on to this too much longer, it doesn't really matter. You're going to wake up one day and realize you want to be in this relationship, and the damage is already going to be done. So this is a call to action for you. Let's take a look at the advice card and see what this has to add to the equation for us. Hush and listen. Very, very interesting. Gosh, this almost makes me want to go. Maybe this is just for one side of, the scenario here, not that it negates the other, but, really, I think that, gosh, hush and listen. I'm really getting a sense here that this is something to where, you need to push through this, you need to break through this, but you're going to get much further by basically calling this out and demanding those answers, this breakthrough in this relationship, whatever this is, but really letting the other person do a lot more of the talking and listening and absorbing that. Because now that I have this out here, I think that both sides of that is still very pertinent, but I'm not 100% sure that what you think this is what it is. So for example, if the clinging to the past, if you're thinking, oh, hung up on an ex-girlfriend or ex-boyfriend, it may seem like that, but I don't think that's the actual case. And if you come out swinging and saying, hey, listen, I know you're still hung up on your ex, that's going to create a whole new issue when that's not really the issue. Maybe it is, but I'm just saying, whatever you think it is, I don't think that's actually what it is. And by calling it out and just assuming that that's the case, I think that adds an extra layer of complication that may take this down a kind of a road that you don't want to go down. So I think that definitely, regardless of what side of the fence you're standing on here, you need to push ahead with this and clear the air of whatever this is. But I think you let that other person do a lot more of the talking. That way you actually know what you're dealing with before you move forward in that. So yeah, very interesting advice card there. And perhaps it's really focused on just one side of that scenario. Maybe if you're the person that is seeing some things and you think it's one thing, if you confront that, I think what you're going to find is going to be something completely different. So thank you for watching. I hope this is helpful. If it does resonate with you, please make sure to like the video. And if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Just go over there and click that button. It's simple and it helps us out. And we'd love to have you part of the family. We're going to wrap up this part of the reading and jump on over to the part of the reading that deals with or that is working with people that want to be in a relationship. But we will see you next time. Thank you for watching. Hey, everybody. If you are looking for the part of the reading that is for those of you that are looking for love, looking for a relationship, you are in the right place. We are going to go on and flip this card over and see what we were working with today. Lion spirit, be generous of spirit. Okay, so for those of you that are looking for a relationship, I think this is really about just being open and being open to what comes to you, being, you know, not so focused on what you think maybe you want. I think that I think this is like kind of giving, sorry, I'm kind of stumbling over it. I'm trying to unpack this here. This is more along the lines of having an open mind, having an open heart, and that perhaps love is going to come to you, or a relationship or a new potential relationship is going to come to you in a form that you are not expecting. So perhaps you have a type. Perhaps you're used to dating a certain type of person. And this one is, there's a potential here that this one's not going to line up in the way that you're used to, which I think is a good thing. I think that, you know, if you have a type and you're looking for a relationship now, obviously that type hasn't worked out very well for you up to this point. So perhaps it is a change in perspective that you really need. And that being generous of spirit, I keep getting a feeling that, you know, it's just basically open heart, open mind, and just be kind. Don't shut anybody out right out of the gate, because, you know, perhaps if you were, because if you were to be kind of like shutting people down because they weren't what you're typically used to, I think that could really eliminate some very, very cool potentials for you. But let's take a look at some of these clarification cards and see what they can add to the mix here. See if we can get some more information for you. Okay, we got the turning in. I've got the guidance card. The thing that really pops out for me about the turning in card is this kind of, I don't know, it's almost like shutting out a social circle. It's, you know, not listening to the people that are around you, that either the gossip or getting tied up in this stuff. It's almost kind of like you are breaking free from some stuff that's not very good for you, hasn't been good for you in the past in terms of some of the people that you're around. And perhaps that's where this change kind of comes in, is that, you know, maybe you're removing yourself from that social circle, and just really evaluating what's important to you, where you want to go in life, the things that you want to work on, you know, kind of going inward here and really listening to yourself as you move forward here. And then we have the guidance card here as well, which is really kind of if you see in the background here, there's this woman, and in a lot of cases, this is a card of like working on a craft or leveling up and those types of things, you know, through guidance. And I think really what this is kind of speaking to is that this is, you know, that this is kind of time that, you know, these other experiences that have been in the past that, you know, haven't worked out to this point, they've been necessary, they've been useful, and they've really helped you evaluate what you want out of life, what you don't want out of life. At least definitely what hasn't worked. And that's, I think, where this is kind of be generous of spirit, keeping that open mind, keeping that open heart, and not really listening to people around you is really going to pay dividends when this new relationship kind of pops in. Let's take a look at the advice card and see what that adds. I do think there's something coming in here, but it's almost like you need a little more time to yourself, is what it feels like. Like you're kind of clearing out some of that old energy, some of the old relationship stuff, and you're really, evaluating what's important, what's not important, and you're really just kind of listening to yourself here. But again, that be generous of spirit is really encouraging you to keep things open. Don't shut things out at the same time. Yeah, okay. So we got the not so black and white cards, the zebra card here, and it's just basically saying that things are never just simple. I think that whatever this is for you, it is complicated, that, perhaps these old relationships or these old types of things are coming from a place of, again, I keep going back to this social circle thing. Maybe it's kind of like what you did for fun. Like, for example, I don't know, maybe your idea of fun and the friends are all that you have right now or all revolve around clubbing or some sort of activity or event that's no longer serving you. You're growing past that. Perhaps some of these relationships stemmed out of that as well. And perhaps one of those relationships was actually in that social circle. And so things are kind of complicated with the people in that social circle still, because, although you're done with this last relationship or previous relationships as well, there's still some connectivity there, and there's still some connections, and you're just at a point to where it's like, no, this isn't working for me anymore. I got to move forward. So again, I really get the sense that if this is resonate for you, I would almost say that you're not quite ready for that relationship. This is the placement of looking for love, but just because we think we're looking for love doesn't mean we're actually ready for it. I think you have some things to kind of suss out here. You have, we'll call it healing, a little more healing to do, but really what I think you need is to more time of just kind of figuring out who you are and who you want to be, and your environment and that whole thing, everything around that, finding that balance again, and taking these past experiences and whatever you're going through right now and kind of integrating that all into your new life as you move forward. And at the same time, though, again, I think that it's still calling for you to keep an open mind here. Open mind, open heart. Don't be bitter about this stuff, and if you have to cut some of this stuff away, that's okay. Cut some of that stuff away. Just be good about it, and you just know it's not because you are angry or mad or spiteful at them. It's because this isn't serving you right now. It's not the healthiest thing for you right now, and you really need to get into some self-healing here and figure out again who you are as an individual outside of this drama that is happening, so that you can move forward with a healthy relationship. And I think the sooner you get there, I think the sooner that door opens for the next relationship. I don't think it's going to be what you expect. I think it's going to be something different. And I think you need to be open to it, because it's going to be a great experience. So yeah, that's what I have for this reading. I hope it has been helpful. If it resonates with you, please make sure to like the video. And as always, if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have you, and it helps us out quite a bit. So thank you once again for watching. We're going to move on to our next reading here, which is going to be for those of you that are moving away from a relationship. And then we will see you next time. Hey, everybody, if you are looking for the part of the reading that is going to be working with those of you that are moving away from a relationship, you are in the right place. So let's go on and flip this card and see what energies we are dealing with today. Life is speeding up, antelope spirit. I think that this really is just what really just kind of comes through is that, enough is enough. This is kind of over, and this is accelerating. Something's been on your mind for a while. You could be still in this relationship and just be, like physically still in a relationship, but just mentally and emotionally checked out here. And I think that as each day goes by, this idea of moving away from this relationship is just all that stronger. And I think it's happened kind of quickly, or at least it's accelerated quickly, but I don't think it's out of nowhere. I think what's happening is kind of like almost a snowball effect. It's just like each day there's something else that gets added to this, is just convinces you more and more. And it just seems like, you're on a one-way road here out of this relationship, or perhaps this has already been the case and you're out of this and moving on, and things are going fast for you there. Like, perhaps you get out of a relationship and boom, all of a sudden you get a new job offer in another state. I know something like that, to where all of a sudden you're like, wow, this happened quickly. Just last month, I thought I was here and now I'm here. So I think whatever this is an acceleration process for you. But again, it's definitely moving you away from a relationship that wasn't working for one reason or another. Let's take a look at some clarification cards and see what we can get in terms of more information for you here. Yeah, this is interesting because we got the guidance card and we got the miser card, and I think that this started with you working on yourself, setting some boundaries, basically making some decisions here that whatever this relationship was no longer serving you. It wasn't right for you anymore. You didn't like how you felt in this relationship, and but that maybe as a self-confidence type of deal, to where maybe you felt like you deserved this kind of treatment in a relationship. Perhaps is the only type of relationships you've ever known. Whatever that is, though, for you, I think that you've been doing some work on yourself, and through the course of that work you've really kind of outgrown this person. And I think that's a beautiful thing, because you're moving in a positive direction, you're growing, and I think people come into our lives to help us grow, especially unpleasant situations are where all growth happens, really. The important growth. So I really get a sense there that that's kind of the case here for you. And then there was a certain point where you just had to decide to let go. And that's where this perhaps the speeding up really came. The minute that, the miser here is you got this lady here is holding on to all these nice jewels and gold and fancy. Perhaps that was literal for you. Perhaps is, there was some money in this, and there was some things that were very attractive about this relationship, materialistically or somewhere else. But whatever this is, you were holding on to this, and it was just draining you. This, if you look here, the hair is gray, the skin's gray, a wall's being built up. This isn't going good places. It's just kind of green and gloomy and so forth. But I think that you recognize this, and through this work or whatever, you were actually able to kind of let this go, recognize these things, and determine what was important, what was not important. And once you figured that out, you realize really quickly this wasn't serving your highest purpose, and the best part of your life. It wasn't going to take you anywhere that was good, at least. And I think once that decision was made, once you work through that and let that go, it was kind of like the floodgates opened up and things happened really quick. And it may have even been to the point where this other person's surprised, because just because, it's not a healthy relationship, and perhaps if that person wasn't very nice to you, doesn't always mean that they even recognize it all the time. So it could have been a complete surprise to them, but regardless how they felt about it, what they thought about it, it was a very fairly rapid transition, at least for onlookers looking in. But reality is that you've been working on this for a while. And once you dealt with some key things and moved past some key things, and really grew beyond this relationship, then all of a sudden it was kind of like, hey, I'm done with this because this has nothing to offer me. So in that respect, if someone's on the outside looking in, or perhaps the other person in this relationship, they were just like, where the hell did this come from? When in reality, this has been kind of something you've been working on, not necessarily working on getting a relationship, but working on you. And this is the result of it. We moved past it. You've grown past this relationship. So let's take a look at the advice card and see what it has to add to the reading. Connection is necessary. So I think that this is speaking to the idea that as you move away from this, that you know, you need to be around people. You need to be around people you love and trust, that you can talk to, that will support you. Because I mean, relationships are easy to kind of get sucked back into, and even when we are on the right path, you know, it's not always going to be just so clear cut. There are going to be days where, you know, perhaps we second guess ourselves. But I think that being around the people that know you, support you, love you, I want you to talk to these people about this, you know, the work that you've been doing, the conclusions you come to. So when you do have days that are a little bit weaker, they can remind you why you're doing what you're doing. I don't think this is going to be a really long, drawn out process for you, though. But I do think it's necessary. And, you know, and a lot of times in a relationship, we lose who we were, at least a person, we lose who we were as an individual, at least to a certain degree. I think it happens to all of us. So I think this is a time for you again to just rediscover who you are now through this experience, and grow from that, and then be around the people that you can trust, and just go out and enjoy life for the moment, and you know, really, really celebrate these kind of, oh, these successes that you've had in terms of the work that you have been doing. I mean, it's a very positive thing. It's you know, on your life purpose, life path, that your spiritual progression, and just, you know, towards just being happy in general. I think that these are all what you kind of work through as a success. So use the people around you to not use them, be around those people so they can, you know, help prop you up when, you know, you're kind of feeling down and out about it. So yeah, that's what I have for this reading. If it resonates with you, please make sure to like the video. And of course, if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button for us. That helps us out quite a bit. And, you know, we'd love to have you part of the family as well. So thank you once again for watching, and we will see you next time.